Hello and welcome everyone. This is Jeff from the Tower Group and we are delighted to have you on today's webinar. Today's presenters will be Pam and Trish from the Tower Group, and we have a special guest, Trish's daughter Lux. Trish will be sharing her experience with the Nanny McCluckins chick experience. Trish has lots of cool and amazing pictures, videos, and stories she'll be sharing with you today. If this is your first time attending our webinar, there are a few things to keep in mind. Number one, we have a chat box that you can type in to ask questions. Please don't hesitate or be a chicken. We would love to have you engage throughout the webinar, and we want to hear from you. When you send a question or comment in the chat, we will be sure to address it. And number two, we will keep you engaged in the webinar by providing a poll question that will pop up on your screen later in the webinar. All you have to do is select the best answer and click submit, and then we'll share the results with the group and you can see how everyone else responded. We even have a special prize for the right answer. So with that being said, let's jump into it, and I'll pass it over to Pam and Trish to begin. Take it away, Pam and Trish.
Thanks so much, Jeff. We're really excited to attend today, and I just wanted to thank everybody for really taking the time in their evening to hear about Trish's experience. I know we've been super excited to hear what she's been doing, and she's in many of our group meetings brought us the little chicks that just hatched actually. So we're pretty excited, but you know, we're just more excited and appreciative that you were able to join us today. So thanks very much. And again, like Jeff said, please enter your questions into the chat, and at the end of the presentation, you guys can also unmute. Just make sure that you unmute your microphone and that you have a microphone that works. And you guys can talk to Trish or Lux anytime you want at the end. So look forward to beginning. Thanks, Trish. Thanks, Lux.
Yeah, thanks, Pam and Jeff. Yeah, we're really excited to share with you guys kind of what we've been doing over the last 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks now. So like many of you, we've just been kind of sitting around the house. We've been totally bored. We played the same board games. We've played the same tag games. And I was online surfing one day, which is what I do now. And I came across this Nanny McCluckins company. So I'm like, okay, chick hatching experience, like what's involved with this? And this is such a cool company with an amazing concept where they get eggs from actual farms and they give them out to these families with everything that you need to hatch these little guys, and you get them for 4 weeks, and you literally go through step by step on how to hatch an egg, which is really neat. Nanny McCluckins operates out of Calgary, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Lethbridge, and you don't only have to do chicks, which is kind of cool, but you can also do ducks and quails, which I thought was the neatest thing. We decided to go with chickens just because we don't have them as long. I want them to go back to the farm sooner than later because we do have 2 cats that might hurt them, so we don't want to keep them too long. But I think the quails and the ducks you have longer. I think it's 28 days for them to hatch, whereas chicks are only 21. So on the next slide, when it comes up here, we picked up our eggs on May 15th, and as you can see, here's Lux with her little eggies. You also get this white bin. In the white bin, Nanny McCluckins supplies everything you need. So the water feeder, the little heater, the incubator, and food and shavings. Like the only thing you have to supply is yourself and some fresh water every couple days. So it's really kind of cool because you don't have to run around and buy anything. So as you can see, Lux is pretty excited. We didn't tell Lux that we were going to do this. We started driving over to Pisces, around Pisces, which is Deerfoot and McKnight. It was where we picked them up. And we were driving over there and we told her, and I thought she was going to cause a car accident with the way she was screaming and hollering. But as you can see, we got 6 little eggs. We normally get 4 to 5, but it all depends on the farmers. So we got 6 eggs. So we got 2 brown, 3 white, and a blue egg. I had no idea that chickens have blue eggs, so that was interesting. So we brought it all home and we set it all up. So the next slide will show us how the incubator is set up. We set up our incubator in the bathroom because it's safer there from Ren, who is our 2-year-old daughter, as well as our 2 cats. So I figured it was just a nice, safe place where they're not going to be disturbed. When you set up your incubator, you also get like 6 pages of instructions, which is great because it's really clear, it's really laid out. You can see in this picture that there's like a foam bottom to it, and then the incubator itself sits on top of that, and then there's another foam piece that goes on the top. And that's just to help regulate the temperature so it stays at a constant 38. The incubator will do that for you, and the incubator also moves the eggs back and forth so you don't cook them all on one side. So in the picture beside the incubator, you can see our 6 eggs all lined up in there in their little trays. That little black tray moves back and forth every 2 hours. And then every second day, you put 3 tablespoons of water in the center of that white tray that's just underneath it. So really simple to do, and that's how they'll stay for the first 18 days, give or take. The next slide is the chick hatching calendar. So this is a calendar that you get with your instructions, and it's very specific on when you can and cannot touch your eggs. They don't want you touching the eggs, one, because you might drop them or you might injure them. Because the chicks are growing, you don't want to have them land on their or sit too long on their yolk sac, because you'll cut off the supply, their feeding supply. So your first, 9 days, you just put the eggs in your incubator and you leave them alone. All you have to do is lift up that lid every couple days to add fresh water in, and then you shut the lid and you just watch the eggs move back and forth. Day 10 is the start of the days where you get to start candling your eggs. So on the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about candling eggs. Hey, that was fun. So candling eggs is exciting, to say the least, because it's the first real day where you get to hold your eggs. And candling is where you take your egg and you put it on a very bright light source, and you're trying to see if the egg is actually developing and growing. So as you can see in the picture here, when you candle your eggs at certain times, you'll see the air cell, which is at the very bottom, which is very bright yellow. So that's just an air pocket. Above that, where the reddish tone is in the picture, you can see that's the yolk sac, which is what the baby chick is living off of, as well as some of the blood supply, so the little veins that are starting to attach from the yolk sac to the embryo. And the dark part is your actual embryo. In the next slide, you'll see as the egg progresses through those first 18 days, you go from absolutely nothing, a nice bright yellow egg, which is what you would do if you candled an egg in your fridge. It goes all the way through to day 18. So in this picture, you can kind of see, well, it's pretty obvious. You can see the egg developing and the embryo growing in there. By day 6, you can just see the embryo on the bottom with lots of veins, which means that the baby is viable. There's a live chick in there, which is great. That's what we're looking for. Day 8 and on, it gets a lot harder to see those baby chicks though, because they take up so much room in those eggs. So by the time you get to candling on day 18, which is the last day you get to candle and hold your egg, you're not seeing much. You're kind of seeing the air sac and you're seeing a dark spot. That's great, because that means that your baby is growing inside your egg, and that's obviously what we want. So next slide. So this is a video that I took, and it's me trying to candle an egg. And if you watch really closely, you'll be able to see the embryo moving. So just watch close.
There he is. Right there, you see him moving? His head are right there, see? He's moving. So we have a viable egg.
So that candling was done on day 10. So we were lucky enough to be able to see the embryo inside of it and see the spine and see the eye. So that was really cool, because I've never candled an egg before. It's just not something we do in our family. I'm a city slicker. So that was really cool to see. And it was the only egg, actually, this one, that we could see when we candled it. All the rest of them were quite dark. So on the next slide, day 18. Day 18 is a big day when it comes to chick hatching, other than the actual hatch days, because these are the days where the incubator gets cleaned out. So the black tray that you saw earlier gets removed, and we put down a nice non-slip surface for the chicks, because this is the day where we increase the humidity in the incubator. And this is the day that we start waiting for the chicks to hatch. Like, this is it was so exciting. We couldn't believe we'd finally got to this point after just watching these little eggs move around. So we were really excited to get to this step. So lockdown day, the lid goes down, nothing comes in, nothing comes out of that incubator until the chicks start to hatch. So we started with 6 eggs. Unfortunately, we lost one chick who couldn't come out of the egg, which is known to happen. It's like an 80% success rate when you get these chicks. So we were pretty lucky that we got 5 chicks to come out of this.
So we're going to launch a poll. You're going to see a purple screen pop up, and we're going to guess which egg hatched first. So here's the poll. And
don't forget, everybody, there's a reward for whoever picked the right egg.
Yes, Pam has a special reward if you can pick the right egg. Just select the one that you think hatched first. And then what we'll do is we'll share the results with the group. So far in the webinar, we have 60% of everyone that's voted. We have 70% now. I'll leave the poll open for about 10 more seconds, and then we'll close the poll. And then we'll see what the results are. Okay, we're almost there. We're at 86%. We'll leave it open for 5 more seconds, and then let's see the results.
Oh, there's a few. Everybody, nobody liked 2.
Nobody liked 2. Well, I can tell you that chick number 5 was the first chick to hatch.
Awesome. Who picked number 5? Put up your hand in the chat section.
Or you can type in and just say your name, and we'll make sure we send out that prize to the right person.
That's awesome. I had hoped the blue one was going to go first, which was number 1, but the blue was the last one.
Okay. Looks like Corey and Max had that pick. So
awesome! Congratulations!
Congrats.
Way to go, Corey and Max. Good pick.
That's great. Good guess, you guys.
Great guess.
Okay, hatch day, the day we are all waiting for. This is the start of the most exciting time for this whole process. This is the day that you want to start like being up 24 hours because you don't want to miss it. So hatch day started actually June 18th for us. That evening, I had gone to look at the eggs and I noticed there's a little hole in the one. So as you can see in this one, there's a little hole just below the green line. Yes, it's happening. It was so excited. Lux was jumping up and down and I was screaming for my husband. I'm like, we're having chicks. It's really exciting, you guys. Like, if you guys are going to do this, this is the best day for everybody. So on the next slide, you'll see that this hole, like it should, gets bigger. So in this case, the egg is probably 1/3 of the way around. And in the video, you'll see once it starts playing that you'll be able to see the very beak of the chick, which has an extra tooth on it to help saw the chick out. But you'll see it's trying to rip that inner membrane to try and get itself out, so we're to the point where it can push with its legs and its wings and it just pops out of the egg. It's very cool to watch this process. The funny thing is, while we were watching this process, there was an egg in behind it that had hatched that we didn't even see. So they happen quite quick. So on the next slide, here's that little chick. They come out and they're really tired. They've used up most of their energy, so they're pretty lethargic. They're really tired. They just want to sleep. They do try and lift their head and they do try and stand, but they knock into all the other eggs. And it's quite funny to watch them because they're very awkward. But that's the whole point, is as they're knocking the other eggs around, they're trying to wake up their brothers and sisters, and they're peeping at the same time, and they're telling the other eggs, come out, it's time to play, like, let's go. So when they come out of the eggs, they're awkward looking, they're wet, they're kind of gross looking, and you just feel so bad for this little chick. You just want to pick them up and put them under a hair dryer. But you have to leave them for 1 full day in the incubator so that they can fluff up, because then we all know what chicks look like when they fluff. They're all so cute. So the next slide, I believe, is where we get to see them all fluffed up. Oh, no, their house. So after 24 hours, you can pull the chicks out of the incubator. You just have to do it really quick in case there's other chicks that are still trying to hatch. If we pull too much out at the same time out of the incubator, we actually lose that humidity and we can hurt the other chicks and make it really difficult for them to hatch. But once they come out of the incubator, they go into their home, which is provided by Nanny McCluckins. And so they give you everything in here. You just have to give the fresh water. And you put the little chicks in one at a time. The red and gray item that you see on the left-hand side is their warmer, or what's called a brooder. And it keeps them at a nice constant temperature. So they tend to hide underneath there. So it's hard to see them until about 48 hours after they're born. So this is their little house. This is where they'll stay to the day they go back. Next slide. Here they are, all fuzzy. Yay! So here's 4 of the 5. The 5th one is on a stuffed toy that Lux is playing with. And we ended up with 3 black chicks, Lux? Yes, 3 black chicks and 2, well, 1 yellow and 1 kind of brownish one. Yeah, so we got really lucky with having, like I said, the 5 out of the 6 hatch. We were sad about the 6th one, but it is a part of chick hatching and it's part of life, and it was a great learning experience, right? So here they are on our carpet. I recommend putting a towel down because they poop everywhere. And I know the younger ones will find that funny, but in the video, I don't know if you can hear them or not, but they're really loud when they're outside of their house. Can we play that again just quickly? So they are quite loud when you pull them out of their house, and it's really cute because when they're inside, they're fairly quiet. They're kind of just background noise, but yeah, when you pull them out, they're loud. Next slide. It is well as the girls holding the chicks. So this is after the 24 hours when they first get into their home, we let the girls hold their chicks for the first time. And this whole experience has been amazing for our family. It's given us something to do. We did some exercises and some coloring pages with the girls so they could learn kind of more of the life cycle. We did some games with chickens. We sang songs that were about chickens. So it was a really great experience. I learned how to candle eggs. I also learned how to help a chick out of its egg, which is something else, let me tell you. So we learned a lot. Even my husband, who grew up on a farm and had chicks, learned a lot. So here's a picture of the girls holding their first chicks, and they were so excited. Ren being 2, she's a little bit rougher, so we got to be a little more careful. But Lux has been great with the chicks. So what we're going to do now is the best part of having chicks. We're going to show you these chicks. We're going to tell you their names, and Lux is going to tell you a little bit about each chick because each one has a personality. And even though 3 of the black ones look the same, they're not.
And just make sure, like, if you guys have any questions or you want to participate with Lux, just unmute and you guys can be part of the presentation too, or, ask questions in the questions box and Jeff and I will try to capture them while we go here.
All right, so Lux is just pulling them out of their house now. They move around pretty quick, so you might be able to hear them as they're being picked up because they don't like it. Okay. So this here, do you remember this one's name?
Jack Jack.
This is Jack Jack. So we can tell this is Jack Jack because Jack Jack has a brown head. Yeah. And what kind of personality does Jack Jack have? What's he like?
He jumps a lot.
He does. He's our jumper. He'll jump over everything and he's squirmy. So this is Jack Jack. You can see his brown head. Okay, Lux is going to get another one. We'll probably end up pulling Jack Jack out like 2 or 3 times because that's Jack Jack. So if nobody knows, Jack Jack is from Cinderella. Okay, so what's this one's name?
Peppercorn.
So this is Peppercorn, and she's the prettiest one out of all of them. You can see on her back, she's got the nice coloring, some of the yellow and the black. And what's Peppercorn? Who's she?
Well, she's the loudest.
She's pretty loud, but she's our tallest chick. And she stands over the others by quite a little bit. So she's got nice tall legs on her. So there's Peppercorn. Peppercorn, I believe, was the second one that was born.
Peppercorn.
Okay, we're gonna grab the third chick. Aren't these guys so cute? Like, you just want to cuddle them. At night, we let the girls sit on the couch and watch TV and hold them. And if the chicks stay nice and warm, they get really quiet and they fall asleep right in their hands. So who's this one?
Sparklight.
This is Starlight, remember?
Starlight.
So Starlight is our smallest chick. What did we have to do with Starlight? Do you remember?
Help her.
That's right. We had to help Starlight out of the egg. So Starlight didn't have enough strength to get out of her egg. So I had to get a hold of Nanny McCluckins, which, by the way, has like a 24-hour call, email, message, whatever you need to do. So I called Kathy, the organizer, and I'm like, Starlight's having issues. I'm like, this egg just won't hatch. It's been more than 12 hours. And she's just like, you know what? You can help peel back some of the egg and you can help peel some of the membrane. And so I did that. And then we put her back in, and an hour later, we had to go back in and peel more of the egg off poor Starlight and then leave her for the night to get her out. So she needed quite a bit of help. All right, who's this?
Gus.
So this is Gus Gus. He is our favorite chick. And why is he our favorite chick?
He's so fluffy and cute.
Because he is so fluffy. He is the biggest chick. He is also the loudest chick. He's mostly black. I would let go of him a little bit more, but he'll take off. He is mostly black, but he's got a yellow chest and he's got a little yellow bum. But he is our fuzziest, and I'm not even sure if he can see around all of his fuzz in his face because the fuzz comes right up over his eyes. So he's our family favorite. If we could buy Gus Gus, we would in a heartbeat. We absolutely love that little chick. And then who's the last one? So the last chick we're about to show you is the first chick that was born, the one we completely missed watching hatch. He's all black, and he's the skinniest chick out of all of them, but he's also the hardest to get a hold of.
Yeah, and you're right. This is the one you picked, and you said they're all so cute. This is the one you picked, so just wait.
Yep. So this is the first one. This is Toothless from How to Train Your Dragons. So Toothless is completely black, and that's the way we can tell. He doesn't have as much brown on his head as Jack, but he's kind of the skinniest of the chickens, but he moves fast, and he was the I'd almost say he was the bully of the group. He was picking on all those other little chicks as soon as they came out of their eggs to get up and get moving. And so he's kind of the oldest brother out of all of them, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
So there's our little chickies. That's part of our family. So we get to keep them until Saturday. So we have a full week with the little fuzz butts.
Lux, what did you like best about this whole experience?
Holding the chick
Yeah, that's cool.
and holding Starlight right now.
Lux would hold these chickens all day long if she could.
Oh, that's so sweet. Who does your sister Ren like the most?
Picking them up.
Yeah, Ren kind of likes all of them. Whichever one comes to her, she goes for. So she's not picky like the rest of us. Anything else?
That's awesome. Do any of you guys have kids that want to ask Lux some questions or ask Trish some questions on the experience and what they went through? Feel free to always unmute too as well. You can unmute and just come online and ask any questions you have.
There is a lot of information with the whole 4 weeks. By the time the chicks go back, it's been so fantastic. Like, it's something to look forward to every day. It's something to check on that's different than the everyday normal life that we are currently involved in. So this was definitely like a great break, and it gave the kids something different to focus on for the last 3-4 weeks, right? So it was great, and it'd be a great way to spend the summer doing something like this.
Awesome. Looks like we might have a question here from Heidi. How long did it take for the chicks to hatch?
So the chick that we had to help was almost a full 24 hours because she was the one that I had to continually be peeling part of the egg. But I would say on average, once they started really going and that bigger hole started to open up, 30 minutes, maybe an hour tops. Like, it was quick, and that's why we missed a couple of them, because we were so focused on one and we missed the one behind it. So they do come out pretty quick once they get going. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Corey, it looks like you have a question as well. You can unmute if you want and talk or put a question in the question part. We have you there.
You can hear them chirping in the background, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. Do we have no more questions?
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Now we can hear you.
Oh, there we go. This is Corey and Max has a question. Okay, go ahead, Max.
Okay. Why do eggs hatch the 18th day?
Oh, Trish, you're muted. Oh, there, I unmuted.
I'm unmuted. Great question. I'm actually not sure why they hatch on the 18th day. I presume it would be like humans. Humans have a timeline when they start to hatch. So chicks do. Chicks develop really, really quick. So in those 18 days, they go from nothing to a little baby chick. But I'm not sure on the real reason. You know what? I'm going to look that up, and I'm going to get back to you, Max. That's a great question. Good job. What do you want to say? What do you want to say to Max?
Hi, Max.
So your favorite part of this whole thing was just holding the chicks?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
And cuddling.
Yeah, and cuddling, and I'm pretty sure you were excited too about them
Cuddling
hatching.
is the best for sure.
Yes, I know Pam would like to cuddle.
Yes, for sure I would. I love them. I think they're so adorable. Awesome. Well, let us know if anyone else wants to talk to Lux or if you want to talk to Trish anymore. And, feel free. You guys can always email us at the Tower Group. Obviously, you guys have our addresses if you have any more questions or you kind of want to ask any more questions, feel free. We'll stay on the line here for a couple minutes. And Corey and Max, we're going to send you the little chick stuffed animals that you have that to hold forever of this presentation. Congratulations again, and thanks for talking to us, Max. We really like that.
And Max, I'll get back to you on your question because that was fantastic. I will find out.
And it looks like Corey has a question in the chat. It's asking, how do we book this? And wow, thanks.
Yeah, so you can go online. I believe the email or the website is nannymccluckins.com, from what my memory serves of me. And you can book it right online through them. So you can go on there under their Alberta section and for Calgary, and you can see when their next available chick dates are. And you can also book your ducks and your quails at that time too, if you wanted to go a different route than what we did. But it's all online. Corey, if you want, I can send you the link by email, and I can show you how to do that. It's really quick and it's painless. And Kathy is who I dealt with, and she's kind of the the head chick wrangler. She's been amazing to work with. So I will email you the link, Corey.
Gail just has a comment in the chat. She says, such a great presentation. Thank you, Trish. This was so interesting.
It's
Thanks
so
so much.
cool. If you get a chance, please do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, like for us, every day Trish would come in with her meetings online and she'd be like, okay, they're doing this. And you can see she was probably more excited than most of her kids. She was like, this is so great. This is so exciting. And then when they hatched, she'd have them in the little pen for every one of our meetings and squeaking and pecking. And, you know, they were little tweeting all the way along. It was pretty cute.
They're so much fun. As an adult, even if I didn't have kids, as an adult, I totally would do this again, just myself. So I have more time with them.
That's awesome.
Corey has a comment in the chat. He says that they'll probably do the chicks and the quails.
Let me know how the quails go. I want to do that one next too. So I'll learn from you, Corey.
Excellent. Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate everybody attending, and we hope you have a great evening, and hopefully the rain stops at some point in time and we get our sunshine back.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.